Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you do not miss any video lesson from Rao's IAS.
Hello and welcome to Daily Prelims Practice. Here we will take up MCQs based on important news and articles that have featured in today's The Hindu and Indian Express newspaper. Topics for today's discussion are displayed on your screen. Let's begin the discussion. So the first question of today is based on this news which featured in the Hindu newspaper. Now this article is related to the observance of first International Day for Biosphere Reserve, which is going to be held on November the 3rd. In this article, author has highlighted the significance of Biosphere Reserve in realizing a better future that is in harmony with nature. Now, as you know, a biosphere reserve is a unique and representative ecosystem of terrestrial and coastal areas which are internationally recognized within the framework of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program. This declaration aims at achieving the three objectives, namely conservation, development, and logistics. That means research part. UPSC has been asking questions based on important biosphere reserves located in India. As in 2019, it has asked question based on Agasthyamala Biosphere Reserve. Now try to solve this question. I'll highlight the correct answer after the discussion of the practice question. So let's have a look at today's practice question. Question is, with reference to biosphere reserves in India, consider the following statements. Statement 1 says, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve is the first reserve of the country that has been recognized by the UNESCO on World Network of Biosphere Reserve. Now, as you know, there are total 18 biosphere reserves, but only 12 of them are listed under the UNESCO network of Biosphere Reserve. This statement is incorrect, as the Nanda Devi, which includes the part of Chamoli, Pithoragarh and Almora district of Uttarakhand, is second to be included in this list, and this inclusion was done in the year 1988. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve was the first to be designated under UNESCO Man and Biosphere program, which was done in the year 1986. Second statement says, Kangchenjunga Biosphere Reserve is the first and only mixed heritage site in India. Now this statement is correct, as UNESCO distinguishes heritage sites into two different lists. One is cultural list, second is natural heritage list. Kangchenjunga Biosphere Reserve was designated under MAP program in the year 2000. However, in 2016, it was categorized under mixed heritage site, and this is the only site in India which has this distinctions. So as you had to find the correct answer, our answer would be B, that is 2 only. Now the correct answer for the previous year question is A. Inspiration for our second question is based on this news which featured in the Hindu newspaper. News talks about the ongoing protest in the district of Leh and Kargil for statehood of Ladakh as well as inclusion in the 6th schedule. Questions based on schedules of the constitutions have been a recurring theme in UPSC preliminary examination. As in 2022, a question was asked on the basis of the 5th schedule. Now let us have a look at today's practice question. Question is, consider the following statements. You have to identify the correct statement. Statement 1 says, the Constitution authorizes the Parliament to form new states or alter the areas, boundaries or names of the existing states without their consent. Now this statement is correct, as Article 2 and 3 deals with the alteration of boundary, inclusion, exclusion, etc. Article 3 specifically deals with internal adjustments. According to Article 3, a bill contemplating change in area, boundary, etc. can be introduced in the Parliament only with the prior recommendation of the President. Now, Constitution says President has to refer the same to the state legislature concerned for expressing its views within a specified period. However, President is not bound by the views of the state legislature and may either accept or reject them, even if the views are received in time. Further, it is not necessary to make fresh reference to the state legislature every time an amendment to the bill is moved and accepted in Parliament. Other than this, in case of union territory, no reference need to be made to the concerned legislature to ascertain its views, and the Parliament can itself take any action as it deems fit. So now it is clear that Parliament can redraw the political map of India according to its will. Hence, the territorial integrity or continued existence of any state is not guaranteed by the Constitution, and that is why India is rightly described as an indestructible union of destructible states. Now, the second statement says settlement of a boundary dispute between India and another country does require a constitutional amendment. Now, this statement is incorrect, as since independence, provisions related to Article 3 were debatable topic. In 1960, in famous case of Berubari Union, Supreme Court held that the power of Parliament to diminish the area of a state does not cover cessation of Indian territory to a foreign country. Hence, Indian territory can be ceded to a foreign state only by amending the constitution under Article 368. However, Supreme Court changed this ruling in 1969 and said that settlement of a boundary dispute between India and another country does not require a constitutional amendment. It can be done by executive action as it does not involve cessation of Indian territory to a foreign country. So at present, the settlement of a boundary dispute between India and another country does not require a constitutional amendment. As you had to identify the correct statements, our answer would be A, that is one only. Now, answer for this previous year question is A. That is, this would prevent the transfer of land of tribal people to non-tribal people. Inspiration for our next question comes from this news which featured in the Hindu newspaper. The news is about challenges being faced by the committee which was formed to frame a draft for Uniform Civil Code for the state of Uttarakhand while sorting and deliberating upon the lakhs of suggestions that it has got from various stakeholders and citizens. Now, the practice question relating to this news is based on DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. As you know, Uniform Civil Code has been mentioned in Article 44, that is part of DPSP. As you can see here, UPSC has previously asked question based on important provisions of Directive Principles of State Policy. Like this question asked the provisions that have been included by the 42nd Amendment. Now let us have a look at today's practice question. Question is, which principle among the following was added to the Directive Principles of State Policy by the 44th Amendment to the Constitution? Now option A says to promote equal justice and to provide free legal aid to poor. Now this was done by the 42nd Amendment Act. It included Article 39A to the Constitution, which deals with the promotion of equal justice and provision for free legal aid to the poor. Now option B says directive to the state to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities and opportunities. Now this is a correct statement as 44th Amendment added Article 38 to the Constitution which talks about these provisions. Now option C says to secure opportunities for healthy development of children. Now this provision was added through 42nd Amendment Act. Option D says it requires the state to promote voluntary formation and professional management of cooperative society. Now this provision was added through 97th Amendment of 2011 and it added Article 43B to the Constitution. So as we had to find the provision which was included through 44th Amendment, our answer would be B, The directive to the state to minimize inequality in income, status, facilities and opportunities. Now answer for the previous year question is B, that is participation of workers in the management of industries. Now answer for the previous year question is option B, that is participation of workers in the management of industries. Now our next question is based on this news in which RBI governor has raised his concern over policy tightening in light of the failure to keep inflation below 6%. UPSC in 2015 has asked a question related to inflation in India. Now you have already gone through various questions related to inflation in previous DPP sessions. Now let's take up question based on basic information related to the inflation. Question is, consider the following statements. Statement 1 says, healthy inflation rate generally benefits the producers of goods. Statement 2 says, inflation worsens the existing inequalities. Statement 3 says, deflation is the reduction in the rate of inflation. You have to find the correct statements. Now, statement 1 is correct, as in most cases, inflation benefits the producers of goods. They make more money because they can sell their products at higher prices. A certain level of inflation is required in the economy to ensure that expenditure is promoted and hoarding money through saving is demotivated. Now, statement 2 is also correct, as profits for business owners and entrepreneurs rise as a result of inflation. As a result, income inequality becomes more pronounced during this time period. However, people in fixed income groups see a decrease in their real income. So, inflation worsens the existing inequalities. Now, statement 3 is incorrect, as this definition more relates to the disinflation, which is the reduction in the rate of inflation. Disinflation occurs when the inflation rate falls below its current level but is still more than 0%. However, deflation is the reverse of inflation. It is the persistent decrease in price level. Deflation occurs when the inflation rate falls below 0%. So, as you had to find the correct statement, our answer would be D, that is 1 and 2 only. Answer for this previous year question is C, that is decreased money circulation helps in controlling the inflation. Inspiration for our next question comes from this news, which featured in the Indian Express newspaper. News talks about recent successful test launch of ballistic missile defense interceptor, that is AD-1, from the APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha. Important developments in field of defense and security have been recurring themes in UPSC preliminary examination. As in 2014, UPSC has asked question based on Agni-4 missile. Now let's have a look at today's practice MCQ. Question is, with reference to AD-1 missile, which of the following statement is (R) correct? Statement 1 says it is a short-range interceptor missile. Statement 2 says it is propelled by a 3-stage solid motor. Statement 3 says it is designed for both low exoatmospheric and endo-atmospheric interception of long-range ballistic missiles as well as aircraft. Now, as evident from the news, it is an interceptor missile, but it is not a short-range missile but a long-range missile. So, statement 1 is incorrect. Now, statement 2 is also incorrect, as this missile system is propelled by 2-stage solid motor, and it is also equipped with an indigenously developed advanced control system. Now, statement 3 is correct, as it is designed for both low exoatmospheric and endo-atmospheric interception of long-range ballistic missiles as well as aircrafts. So, as you had to find the correct answer, our answer would be D, that is 3 only. Answer for the previous year question is A, that is 1 only. It is a surface-to-surface missile. Our next question is based on this article which featured in the Indian Express newspaper. Article was shedding light on the various aspects of nationalism of V.D. Savarkar, that is Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. UPSC has been asking questions based on important personalities related to the India's struggle for freedom. As in 2022, it has asked question based on following personalities. Now let's have a look at today's practice MCQ. Question is, with reference to the V.D. Savarkar, consider the following statements. Statement 1 says, he founded the Abhinav Society and Mitra Mela to create secret societies. Now this statement is correct, as he founded Abhinav Bharat Society, which was initially known as Mitra Mela, along with brother G.D. Damodar in 1904. It was a secret society which also had connections with London. Now second statement says he was associated with the Free India Society founded by Bhikaji Cama in Germany. Now Savarkar went to London in 1906. He soon founded the Free India Society along with Madam Bhikaji Cama, based on the thoughts of the Italian nationalist Mazzini. So, the part of the statement that he was associated with Free India Society is correct. However, this development happened in London, not in Germany. So, this statement is incorrect. Now, third statement says, as a president of Hindu Mahasabha, he called for boycott of Quit India movement. Now, this is a correct statement, as according to him, Indians should join British Army, but not for the purpose of serving them. He was expecting them to attempt a coup against the British. As you had to find the correct statements, our answer would be C, that is 1 and 3 only. Now answer for the previous year question is officers of the Indian National Army, D. Now the inspiration for the last question of today is based on this news which featured in the Indian Express newspaper, which talks about North Korea firing 23 missiles towards South, thus raising the already heightened tension in the Korean peninsula. Now UPSC has previously asked questions based on important places which are featuring in news. As in 2014, it has asked a map-based question related to capital cities of important Southeast Asian countries. So let's have a look at today's practice MCQ. Question is, which among the following South Asian country is landlocked? To answer this question, let's have a look at the political map of Southeast Asia. Now you can see here that Cambodia is not a landlocked country. It is bordered by Gulf of Thailand. Brunei shares its border with South China Sea, while East Timor faces Arafura Sea. So from the given option, the country Laos is the only landlocked country which is bordered by Myanmar, Thailand, China and Vietnam and Cambodia to the south. So as we had to find the landlocked country among these options, our answer would be A, that is Laos. Answer for the previous year question is C, that is 3, 4, 1, 2. That's all for today. Stay tuned for more such updates.